The original SLIM70 Edge has been a staple product for many years, and it has set the benchmark for HDBaseT extenders to follow. We at SY have been busy developing a range of new and enhanced products and have now launched the new SLIM70-PRO HDBaseT extender set. Join me in this multi-part series as I explain the benefits that you can take advantage of when using these devices. My name is Phil of SY Electronics. The SLIM70-PRO is the most advanced HDBaseT HDMI extender set on the market. So let's get straight into it. We have taken the most reliable and the slimmest 4K HDBaseT extender set currently in the market, the SLIM70 Edge, and we have pumped it full of performance enhancing features. The SLIM70-PRO is the latest in a line of innovative commercial grade HDBaseT extenders, comprising of a transmitter and a receiver. It will enable you to extend HDMI video, audio and control signals up to a length of 40 meters at 4K and 70 meters at 1080p over a single Cat6 cable. The SLIM70-PRO extender is truly formidable and is arguably the most versatile HDBaseT extender available today. Yes, it has all the features of the previous SLIM70 Edge, such as bi-directional IR and dual independent RS232 ports. But this new Pro version does so much more. Not only can it accept all HDMI 2 video formats to 4K 60 444, but it also has a host of amazing features, as we will see in the following series of feature-specific videos. Together we will learn more about all the built-in functions such as scaling, HDCP control, EDID management, test pattern generator, video keep alive, audio de-embedder, RS232 control, IR control and CEC control, HPD toggle, full diagnostics, heat management, temperature control and iPoC, intelligent power over cable. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO we will talk about scaling. Why is scaling needed? Many HDMI 2 sources have become available that output video at 4K 60Hz 444. That is full fat HDMI 2 which has a bandwidth of 18 gig. This can create a challenge when we try to send it over HDBaseT, which has a limit of 10.2 gig. But we have an answer for this. The SLIM70-PRO extender has a built-in downscaler. This built-in downscaler can be used in different ways, using color space scaling, resolution scaling, or in auto scaling mode. To send a 4K 60 signal onwards to our 4K 60 display, we would use color space scaling. This will give the desired result of reducing the overall data bandwidth from 18 gig down to 10.2 gig. When using color space scaling, the signal format is converted from 4K 60 444 to 4K 60 420, the same format that is used in Hollywood studios to encode movies onto UHD Blu-ray discs. Perfect. So just the color spacing only would be affected, resulting in a nice 4K image that can be shown on our connected display. So what about if you want to send a 4K 60 signal onto a 1080p capable display? We can also do this. To send a 4K 60 signal to our 1080p display, we would use resolution scaling. When using resolution downscaling, we reduce the overall data bandwidth requirement by simply downscaling any 4K resolution signal to 1080p. The refresh rates are always preserved, so therefore a signal in 4K 60 format would be scaled down to 1080p 60. This is useful when we have a 4K content source at the front end of our system, but only a 1080p capable display connected at the other end. Likewise, if we have a signal in 4K 30Hz, then this would scale down to 1080p 30Hz. so just the resolution only would be affected. So therefore we can cover various situations and ensure that any 4K video signal will be scaled appropriately to suit the situation, either by limiting the colour spacing or the resolution. We also have the auto scaling mode. Whilst in auto mode, the unit will set the optimal downscaler settings based upon cable length and the display capability. If your connected display is only 1080p capable, then the incoming signal source will be transmitted at a maximum resolution of 1080p automatically. And if the cable length is over 40 meters, then once again the signal will be automatically scaled down to 1080p to enable transmission over HDBaseT. By default, out of the box, the SLIM70-PRO will be set in auto scaling mode, so no need to change anything if you don't want to, as the SLIM70-PRO will sort out what is the best applicable format to transmit by checking the source and the display capabilities, as well as the CAT cable length of the installation itself. It will set itself to the optimum scaling format. You choose how you want to use it, either manually or automatically. It's your choice. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about HDCP control. So what is HDCP? First of all, what does it stand for? HDCP stands for High Bandwidth Digital Content Protection, and it is implemented by creators of content to protect the copyright of their material. It's an encryption system that prevents duplication of media across devices. Content management is on most, if not all, DVDs and commercial streaming services like Sky, Netflix and so on. Also, for instance, all Mac computers always send out HDCP on their HDMI outputs, and you can't alter that. Seeing as most HDMI signal problems are centered around HDCP issues, being able to manage and treat HDCP is imperative. Support and management of HDCP ensures compatibility, allowing you to control the HDCP format of the incoming signal source via the HDBaseT extender itself. You can ensure that you obtain a trouble-free image on your display, regardless of whether or not the connected display's HDCP version matches that of the source. So why is this important? A common example is in situations where you have installed an upgraded 4K source that may be HDCP version 2.2 while connecting to a display or going through an AVR that is only HDCP version 1.4 compliant. In this situation, you may normally find that no signal is passed through to the display. The solution? You simply alter the HDCP format to force it to HDCP 1.4 from within the SLIM70-PRO extender itself, and your signal will pass through uninterrupted. By default, the SLIM70-PRO works in pass-through mode. What comes in, goes out. Or you can convert from HDCP 2.2 down to HDCP version 1.4. Or you can even put the unit into cascade mode, which is useful for systems where you have a long signal chain. How you use it, you choose. The important thing is no more HDCP issues. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about EDID management. Why is it needed? What is it? When a source and a display connect via HDMI, a conversation or exchange of information occurs between the two devices, and this is referred to as a handshake. And as part of that initial handshake, the display will provide the source device with a set of details that outline the capabilities of the display. Now, this data is called an EDID. It stands for Extended Display Identification Data. Obtaining the correct EDID is the next biggest problem that we may run into with modern equipment. It is important that the source can know exactly what type of signal formats the display can reproduce. This information includes details of the resolution that the display can show, the refresh rates that it can handle, the number of audio channels that it can reproduce, and so on. In fact, without this correct EDID information, you may not obtain a sound or picture at all. The source will try to send the best signal format that it can to match the capabilities of the display. So at times, to ensure that the source receives the correct EDID information, we may have to manage that data. For example, projectors can be very fussy about the exact signal format that they receive. Projectors have various image adjustment parameters that you can alter and set up from within its own menu. But in fact, all displays will need to receive the correct signal to be able to reproduce an image and offer the optimum performance. Therefore, having an extensive EDID management facility can help to ensure that the video source transmits a compatible signal to suit the ability of your display. In the case of our SLIM70-PRO, we have an EDID pass-through mode and also many preset EDID settings, together with a custom programmable EDID memory position on board where you can store your own EDID. So you can be sure that the source device will be able to receive a compatible EDID. So no need for a separate EDID manager, it's all here in one box. Now this function is an important one and will be extremely useful in many situations. The EDID tools are accessible for you to use from within the SLIM70-PRO by connecting via RS232. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about the test pattern generator. So you have installed all your equipment, and before you leave site you'd like to make sure that your link will operate as it should. So you need to check it out so that you can leave site in the knowledge that your work is complete. Well, how can you do that? We have equipped this professional HDBaseT extender with a tool to help you with this. It has built in an onboard test pattern generator, complete with a choice of 12 test patterns, including checkerboard or solid colour patterns, and at a choice of 4K 30Hz, 25Hz or 24Hz, as well as at 1080p and 720p resolutions. Perfect for commissioning or checking all the component parts of your installation, from the transmitter to the display unit. You can check and verify the correct operation of your signal path, all by using this test pattern generator. You can also check the capability of your display. What resolution will it accept? What refresh rates can it handle? Are the colour settings of your display calibrated correctly? Is your projector aligned squarely onto the screen? And does your projector illuminate the screen correctly? By using the test pattern generator that is built into the SLIM70-PRO, it will help you obtain the answers to all of these important questions. It's very easy to activate the test pattern generator at any time, as there is a front panel switch that turns it on and off. You can connect a laptop to it to obtain further options and settings to change your test pattern, the colour, resolution, and so on. Plus, if your customers are watching you do this, it will make you look good as you demonstrate your professional install. In summary, we have no need for a separate test pattern generator, as this function is included and is available for you to use easily. Straight out the box, just flick the switch on the front of the unit to bring up a test pattern. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about VKA, Video Keep Alive. This function has many uses. For example, when a projector senses that the input video signal is no longer being received at its HDMI input, it will switch off after a short delay, and then you would have to wait for a few minutes before you are able to switch it back on again. This function is built in to prolong the lamp life and save power, but it can be very annoying at times and may not suit your installation scenario. Imagine the presenter is getting irritated because he is waiting for the projector to turn back on again. So in many cases we would not want the projector to keep powering down between swapping over sources, say in a lecture theatre or in a meeting room situation. So we have a solution for this situation, and we call it VKA. The Video Keep Alive option maintains a video output signal whenever the source input video is lost or disconnected. So in a situation like this, the VKA function is very useful. Or another example could be in a digital signage scenario. Here you definitely do not want the display to power down, as the display may be out of reach, or it may even be on an unmonitored site. So the SLIM70-PRO can be set to keep the display alive, and it does this by outputting a test pattern whenever the original input signal is lost. You can choose your preferred pattern that you want to see, whether that be an obviously visible one like red, blue, green, or simply a plain black blank screen. It's up to you to choose one of the many pattern types that are available: solid colours, checkerboard, ramp patterns, and so on, thereby preventing an unwanted power down of your display or projector. So try out this valuable feature on the SLIM70-PRO for yourself to see how you can best take advantage of the many functions and features that are built in. Experiment with the various test patterns that are available. In this video on the SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about the audio de-embedder. Why do we need it? Well, for example, you may need to extract the audio from the source before it goes on to your projector or display. And without the need for any additional hardware, it will save you space, interconnect cables, an extra power supply, and so will save you time and money. Normally you would need a separate device to be able to do this, but an audio de-embedder is built into the SLIM70-PRO. It's a bonus feature, and one that you'll be able to easily take advantage of. The transmitter unit has the audio de-embedder output on it, and it extracts the source audio via a 3.5mm audio jack. So why is this feature so great? Well, because you can take the audio from the incoming video source to feed an external audio amplifier or audio distribution system that forms part of your installation. Yes, the unit provides de-embedded audio as either an analog stereo signal or as a digital optical signal, including 2-channel, 7.1 LPCM, Dolby Digital and DTS formats. We can see that we have multiple advantages offered to us by choosing the SLIM70-PRO HDBaseT extender. In this video on the SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about RS232 control, IR control and CEC control. So first up, RS232 control, the most common method of controlling AV equipment. The control data can be sent over the CAT cable along with the audio and the video signals. And the SLIM70-PRO is equipped with 2 independent pass-through RS232 ports. One main RS232 port and then an additional RS232 port, which can also be used as RTS/CTS should handshaking be required. The RS232 channels are bi-directional. Both the transmitter and the receiver units themselves can also be controlled using the primary RS232 connection and from either end. Thereby you can utilise the built-in feature-rich diagnostics and installation tools that are included inside the SLIM70-PRO itself, and you can also control the far end display or other connected equipment. So simply connect your laptop to the SLIM70-PRO whilst carrying out all your installation, setup and test routines. Then after, you can connect the RS232 terminals to your control system to enable full control. Next we will talk about IR control, infrared. Now this is useful when using equipment without RS232 capability, or when you just need to control 1 or 2 pieces of kit, perhaps when using the original IR remote control handsets. The SLIM70-PRO is equipped with pass-through bi-directional IR ports. The pass-through infrared can handle any IR signalling format with a wide range universal IR interface which offers 24 kHz to 60 kHz carrier frequency, and it operates 2-way from either end. The IR is useful in situations where RS232 may not be an option for you. Next, we will talk about CEC control. Using the HDMI CEC commands to control the display can be a real boon when all you need is automatic event-based automation. Why else is this a useful feature? Well, because we're able to invoke the CEC commands via RS232 from a control system, whilst the SLIM70-PRO will send the actual control signal info onto the connected display using the CEC commands. This can simplify the installation setup and is particularly useful when a display may not have an RS232 interface. It also provides an ideal way of controlling display screens that may be swapped out from time to time, as in the case in hotel function rooms and meeting rooms, but therefore you won't have the need to reprogram the system each time, as CEC commands are universal and will work with any make of display that is CEC compatible, unlike RS232 commands, which are product specific and need to be tailored to a particular product or make of display. So the power on off and the volume can be controlled using these universal CEC commands. The SLIM70-PRO can also request the display unit status. The commands can be triggered from RS232 or via the SLIM70-PRO control software. In summary, all these extra control features and functions are highly sought after and yet are all available to you easily from within the SLIM70-PRO. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about the diagnostic features. A full set of diagnostics are available from within the SLIM70-PRO. Various useful diagnostic information can be monitored, measured and utilised. And the altering of various parameters can also be controlled. Why would you need to do all this? Well, this set of tools will help you check each part of your installation. You can check the health and functioning ability of each part of your signal path. For instance, as well as HPD toggle control, there is also the ability to take a measurement of the Cat6 cable length. Is it too long? Is it even connected? Well, checking the length of the Cat cable will help you know. You can measure the transmitter and receiver power supply and iPoC voltages. Are they correct? Is there a fault along the cable? Are you getting the voltage drop from one end to the other? Are the terminations correct? The voltage test will help you know. You can also report the HDBaseT signal and link status and check for any HDBaseT signal errors. Do you want positive confirmation that all is well? Do you want to know that the far end is getting the proper signal? The signal and link status check will help you know the answer to those questions. Also, you can get information about the input HDMI signal, such as resolution, refresh rate, colour depth, HDR setting, the audio settings, the audio rate, number of audio channels, HPR and HDCP. Are you sending the correct signal in the first instance? What resolution is it? Is it sending stereo or multi-channel audio? These are all important questions that we need to have answered, and the SLIM70-PRO can tell you the answers. Indeed, the diagnostic tools are invaluable for every installation. All these useful tools are freely available for you to use from within the SLIM70-PRO, the most advanced HDBaseT extender on the market. You can see another tutorial video on our website which shows you how to download, install and use all the different functions within the PC Tools app. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about heat management. You will find that all HDBaseT devices generate a significant amount of heat, so it is important to be able to dissipate this heat in order to keep the main chipsets within their optimum limits. Efficient heat management is therefore a very important design consideration. SY products take this to the next level, and we design in thermal dissipation methods that have set the benchmark that others try to emulate. The SLIM70-PRO's revolutionary ultra slim design, just 11.5mm thin, is one of the contributing factors to help ensure that the heat generated by the chipsets is dispersed and efficiently dissipated. Our in-house design team have ensured that this product achieves efficient heat dissipation. By careful use of heat management, the core chip temperature is significantly reduced, thereby contributing to long-term system reliability and longevity of the product, together with reduced callouts to site. In summary, this design feature is an important one that you will be able to benefit from. This product is ideal for placement in AV racks, in credenzas, behind displays, above projectors and so on. In this video on the SLIM70-PRO, we will next talk about temperature control. As you all know, all electronic devices need to remain well ventilated to ensure that the temperature of the device remains within safe working limits. The heat generated always needs somewhere to go. But what will happen if there were to be an abnormal or extreme heat situation? For example, perhaps the rack room that houses all the AV kit, including some HDBaseT transmitters, has an aircon failure. The aircon unit suddenly stops working over the weekend. Maybe there is a rack fan failure. So let us assume that no one finds out until the Monday morning when the AV tech comes in, only to find out that half the equipment in the rack has overheated or either shut down or completely failed. Now, these kind of situations do sometimes occur. However, if you use the SLIM70-PRO HDBaseT extender from SY Electronics, you would be in safe hands. As with this product, under such abnormal conditions, the SLIM70-PRO can send a warning message to your control system and can even automatically shut itself down to prevent potential degradation or failure. The overheat warning signals that it can send out to a connected control system will also help to highlight the issue and trigger an alert. Thereby it could also prevent failure of other equipment in the rack too. The warning, shutdown and repower temperature values can be adjusted to suit the particular installation that you're in. The transmitter and receiver real-time temperatures can be monitored for diagnostics or as an element of the control system. Simply connect your laptop to the SLIM70-PRO via RS232 to control and monitor all these features. In summary, this feature is available to you from within the SLIM70-PRO. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about HPD toggle. Why is this a good feature to have available to us? Well, let us first talk about what HPD is, what it does, and how it can help us out. HDMI equipment connects together using a standardized protocol which helps establish a successful partnership between the two ends of the signal chain. It involves a conversation that is established between the two parties involved, i.e. the video signal source, Blu-ray, skybox, camera, computer graphics card, etc., and the sync, the display, projector, etc. HPD is just part of that HDMI conversation which will occur when a source device and a sync device or display connect together. When the display device is powered and ready, it will pull pin 19 high. It will thereby let the source know that it is present and ready. Then the source will request an EDID from the sync. The sync device will then send back that EDID information. The source will read the EDID and decide the best compatible signal format to transmit. After verifying for any HDCP, the source will transmit the video and audio signals to the sync. So we can see that the HPD plays a vital part in initiating communication and obtaining a video and audio signal. If the source and display do not sync properly, then at some point you may want to reinitiate this conversation process to reset the HDMI connection. Many times you will have found yourself in a situation where you need to unplug the HDMI cable and then reconnect to be able to get the two devices to start to talk to each other again. As an example, in complex situations there can be several devices between the source and the sink, such as a matrix, a switcher, an extender and so on, whereby only some segments may be powered down at times, with the consequence of losing the video link upon repower. The old-fashioned way of doing it, fiddling around behind the rack or pulling out a cable from the back of the display, well, rather than having to do this manually by pulling out the HDMI cables and reconnecting, wouldn't it be great if you could reinitiate that HDMI conversation electronically by toggling the HPD signal? Well, here we have it then, the perfect solution. With our new feature, we call it HPD toggle. There are two ways to trigger the HPD toggle commands. You can connect a laptop to the SLIM70-PRO via RS232, and then using the control software you simply press the HPD toggle button. Or you can send an RS232 command directly from any control system. One easy way to do that is by using an SY controller keypad. This feature toggles the HPD return signal, hence forcing a reinitiation of the connection process. This behaves as though the HDMI cable has been disconnected, unplugged and reconnected, but without the physical need to do so. No more crawling around behind the back of a rack or crouching and looking up underneath the display. This is ideal for when controlling equipment that is not easily accessible. The back of a rack or the rear of your display is unlikely to be readily accessible. So the ability to carry out this is a massive advantage. In this video on the SY SLIM70-PRO, we will talk about iPoC, Intelligent Power over Cable. Only one PSU is required to power both the transmitter and the receiver, and the PSU can be connected at either end to suit your particular installation, whatever is easier for you. The iPoC system ensures that power is made available to a matching device at the opposite end, but only if the device is iPoC compatible. It will check the device at the other end to see if it is a compatible SY product, so you won't accidentally send power to an unsupported device. For example, if you're using the SLIM70-PRO transmitter to feed a signal to another brand of HDBaseT receiver, like a projector that has an HDBaseT input socket on, for instance, then the SLIM70-PRO is intelligent enough to make sure that it does not apply the 48 volt power to that projector input, ensuring safe operation. On the other hand, if it does detect that a matching SY HDBaseT receiver is connected, then it will apply the required 48 volts to power that remote HDBaseT receiver. It does all this courtesy of the iPoC system, Intelligent Power over Cable. So in summary, this extra functional feature is an intrinsic part of the clever design of the SLIM70-PRO, which is designed with the professional AV system integrator in mind. So thanks for watching this final episode in the series, and I hope that you have learned something about how you will be able to benefit from all the various extra functions and features of the SLIM70-PRO, the most advanced HDBaseT extender set available today. So thanks again for watching the series, and we hope that you'll check out some of our other video presentations. You can view our website at sy.uk, or you can also contact your local SY dealer in your country. So as always, we'll see you on the next one.
SY, the centre of your connected world.